Well, years ago, I myself had a $6,000 tax lien pop up on my credit.
Okay.
And it was from the state of Virginia. And I've never been out of California. You don't have to have a job to have great credit. You just got to have a great payment history.
Wow.
So now when people look at your credit, it's a fast track way to boost your score.
Yeah.
In order for you to get quicker and faster.
Yeah. You don't have to wait 10 years to have that.
You never know when somebody may compromise your information. Protecting your credit is vital in this day and age. There's so much that can go wrong with your credit. What you don't know is what goes against you. And this is where you need to change your mindset, and you need to be aware of what your spendings are.
Today we are here with Carlos Spencer. Carlos, welcome.
Good morning.
Credit repair specialist for how many years, Carlos?
15 years.
15 years with your company. What is it? This
Platinum Express Credit.
Credit.
Anywhere in America.
In America.
We have a crew in our office that can help with any credit repair.
Okay.
And guide our clients. General, we help discover their trouble spots on their credit and help them get into a better position, in which most of our clients are looking to buy a car, a home, or just overall fix their credit, just to have there as a safety precaution when they need it. You know, you may need credit to have a credit card for emergency purposes.
Now, why you started? Is that you saw necessity?
Well, years ago, I myself had a $6,000 tax lien pop up on my credit.
Okay.
And it was from the state of Virginia. And I've never been out of California. Okay. And I was unaware on how to fix it.
Okay.
Fortunately, I had a family member who was in the car business, home lending business, and he had an opportunity to learn credit from an individual that taught him.
All right.
And then in conversation, he wanted me to come work with him. So I worked with him for 1 year and learned all about credit. I read books.
Okay.
I studied his methods on how to read a credit report, how to get out of collections, how to deal with charge-offs, how to deal with repos, how to deal with any type of collection inquiries, personal data. Okay, most people don't know that every time that you fill out an application and you submit it for credit, that information that you put on that application is stored in these companies' database.
So you learned all of that, and it was your cousin or your uncle who was
my cousin.
Your cousin, and he was in the auto business, so he was like on
auto financing.
Auto financing, and he knew all of that.
Well, he learned. Everyone would come and couldn't get approved for a car.
So everybody was getting a loan, right? Because he was helping them.
Yes.
Okay, so that's how you got interested in this, I would say, profession that you saw that it's, I don't know, that there is ways, or it's easy to
correct these things.
To get a good credit, to fix your credit, to increase your credit. That's what you saw at that time.
Yes. What happens is those are roadblocks that we don't know how to get out of, that nobody shows you how. You go to a bank and apply for a credit card or a loan, and if you don't qualify, they tell you, come back when you're ready. So you walk out of the bank lost, don't know where to go,
what to do.
And you don't understand why you don't have the correct score. So what we do is identify those trouble spots. Okay, so we can eliminate them. So this way you can be in a proper place to be approved for credit, for loans, for a car, or for that employment job that you seek. You know, they'll look in your background and want to check, hey, how's your history? Was how you deal with credit? Are you a reliable person? And we want to make sure that you have your affairs in order before we hire you.
That you have, because that's gonna show your credit report is going to show how responsible, the stability you are, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So in that time when you learned that, or just studied the books, that's when you just saw that or that's when you decided to go into this business, into this profession, helping people, and you saw the necessity because, again, like you said, people go to the banks to get a loan for a house, car, and they don't have credit, or they have a credit, but they don't know where to go. I mean, there is a lot of places where they can tell you, okay, just get credit cards, make sure that your debt is low, but sometimes they don't know where to call, what companies. Tell us a little bit about the companies, how it works, because the bureaus, the ones that are kind of have all the information. Tell us a little bit about that.
So we know about the three major credit bureaus: Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. Mm-hmm. That's what everybody functions with.
Okay.
In reality, there are many more companies just like them. There are over maybe 400 other companies just like them.
Why those three only? Why those three are the most important?
Those are what the bankers and the lenders use for mortgage and car lending. And credit cards.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we're familiar with those three. Mm-hmm. Okay. And when it comes to those three, you can basically, it's just like an adult report card on your finances.
I see.
Okay. If you're doing excellent and paying everything on time, and you have no issues, you're going to have a high score.
Yeah.
Okay. When you have your late payments, maxed out balances, closed accounts with balances, charge-offs, inquiries, you're going to have a low score.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And in essence, we borrow money, and if we pay it on time, or we paid in full, we're going to get high marks. Okay. Now, if you're someone that's having trouble, and there can be many reasons why we're having trouble.
Yeah.
It could be loss of a job, and we can't pay our bills.
Yeah.
You can go through family matters as far as divorces. Sickness, illness, your job downsized and laid you off.
It's everything about not being responsible, not making your payments for any reasons. It could be any other financial problems. In those three companies, that's the ones that are kind of I would say, what is it? Giving you a number and the score, depending on that, how responsible, how, I don't know, what your payment history, how those companies work.
Yeah, so basically all these creditors report or sell your information to the creditors.
Okay.
And the credit bureaus. And then they're there for the reason to let other companies know about you. You know, hey, we don't know you. You walk into our store and you want credit. We don't have an idea who you are.
Yeah.
What your history is.
Yeah.
How are you going to repay us?
Yeah.
So let's order a credit report on you.
And they have everything, all your history.
Let's see your history of how you deal with other companies just like us.
Yeah.
And if I see that you have Macy's, Capital One, American Express, and you're in good standing with them, then your chances of me giving you credit are very high.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you're doing it bad with those companies and you haven't paid them, then it's going to give me a warning not to give you credit.
Yeah, that's when you get declined basically on your history, right?
Yes.
So these three companies, of course, are the ones that have all history, and that's how your credit is gonna show up. Your FICO score is gonna show up low, middle, high, depending again on your history.
Yes, there are many factors to credit.
Okay.
Say for example, you have a house or a car. That's an installment loan.
Installment loans.
Okay.
Then
you have charge cards. Charge cards are for department stores.
Like Macy's,
Department Express, a certain particular store that you shop at. And revolving credit cards are universal, where you can use them everywhere. Okay, you can use them at the department stores, you can use them at the grocery stores, the gas stations, and you can maybe purchase anything that you use. Okay, where money is exchanged. Okay, in essence, you want to have a good mix on your credit. You know, a good rule of thumb is to have 3 revolving credit lines.
So I would say that's because when people ask me how many credit cards they should have, at least 3. If they have more, 5, 7, it's not good, or it's
good if you can manage it.
Okay. So it just get harder to manage.
Here's a little trivia question here. The world record in California is there are a couple individuals that have over 1,600 credit cards.
1,600?
Yeah, that amount to $2 million.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so one guy held the record for a long time until somebody recently beat him. Okay, now how they manage that many cards on a daily is mind-boggling. Yeah, for instance, some people can only handle 1.
Yeah.
You can have great credit with 1 card.
Okay.
You don't have to have a job to have great credit. You just got to have a great payment history.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And make sure you make your payments.
Yeah. You can show responsibility of paying back your credit card and on time.
Yeah.
You can have an 800 score.
So basically, 3 credit cards are. I would say it's good to have. And you said you need to have revolving credit.
A good credit mix on your profile is installment loan. So your car payment.
Yeah.
Okay.
House payment. Yeah.
A house payment. And a couple of credit cards.
Yeah.
Perfect for you.
Okay.
Good. Your score will probably average in the 700s.
By having those that kind of mixed credit. Yeah.
Okay. And there's a lot of factors about your credit card that when you get a credit card that people don't know about, when the due date is, when the statement date is.
Yeah.
Okay. We all know the due date, when it's due. Okay. The statement date is the reporting date to the banks.
Okay.
That you paid this card on time and for this amount.
Yeah.
Okay. Once that statement date updates, then that's when you can use your credit card, because it's basically a grace period between the due date and the statement date of 3 days.
Okay.
So if you pay your credit card balance of $500 on the due date, it's not going to update until 3 days later and reflect on your credit report. Then it was updated to 0 balance.
Your payment, basically.
Yes.
Okay.
In between those 3 days, if you use your credit card, then that balance is going to change on what you now put, the new balance you put on.
Okay.
And then when it reports, say you use 250 the second day after you made the payment. Then when it updates, it's going to say that you have a $250 balance instead of a 0 balance.
Yeah.
Even though you sent in $500.
Because you didn't wait until
the statement date.
The same day. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, those things are very important to know, so that way you know how to manage your credit cards, right?
Yes.
All right. So let's. I was gonna ask you, what consider bad credit? Under 500, because there is people that have FICO scores of 400, but I know that I'm a loan officer, and I know that there is lenders that are after 580 we can do a loan. But again, what will be I would say, I don't know, in your case, a good credit or bad credit?
So what I would consider low credit or bad credit is you not having any open credit.
Okay.
If you have closed credit with balances, collections, inquiries, and you don't really know about credit, I think the education is key. And when I help a client, I like to educate them on how to manage their credit.
Okay.
So that they can maintain and manage it for the future. and grow their credit. Sky's the limit with credit.
Yeah, you said that there is no limit for credit, right?
Yeah, there is no limit for credit. And I believe that was the right education. We can, in a short period of time, change anybody's situation.
Wow.
Okay. So, and it's just knowing and having someone guide you in the right direction. And if you start off with credit cards and you can maintain paying them in a timely manner and keeping your balances low, you can grow it in a short period of time.
Yeah, it's gonna keep growing.
And they'll keep giving you offers for new credit.
Yeah.
So it gives you an opportunity to grow it, but where you can get into a position where I can buy a car. I can get a home.
Yeah.
Okay, I can have credit cards for my spending sprees. You know, they're great to book your flights, get hotel rooms.
Yeah.
You know, buy your tickets to your favorite.
And with all the benefits that those some credit cards give you also, right?
Yes, credit cards do have perks. Okay, they have reward points. They have reward points for air flights. Travel cards. And the great benefits of that is that you can get discounts at your favorite stores, coffee shops.
Well, you have to have the right credit cards, because not all the credit cards give you those perks, those benefits. All depends again, maybe in your credit history, that you can get access to those credit cards that give you benefits, give you cash rewards, give you discounts.
You can apply for cards that fit your needs.
Okay.
If you're a traveler, then you want to apply for a travel card. Okay. If you like to shop a lot, you want to get a reward card. For shopping, you know, and every time you spend, they're going to kick back
and they give you the
reward points that you can use in return to cash out for money. Use as a discount to your favorite shopping store. And so there are many wide variety of cards to get.
Now, Charles, for people that don't have any credit card at all, any credit at all, because like you said, I got clients that they go to my office and they don't have any credit cards, they don't have any history at all. So how they start? What's the easiest or fastest way? Of course, there are different ways, but just tell me, what do you suggest or advise to people that don't have any credit at all? Because some people, they're afraid, or they think that they're gonna be, I don't know, robbed, or they're gonna the credit company is gonna take advantage of them. What do you suggest?
First, we would have to assess what their standing is with their credit, and where they're at. And in some cases, some people don't have family, mother, father, or don't want to ask anybody for help. And they want to do it on their own. So here's a few suggestions. You can get a secured credit card.
That would be the option number one. I would say one of the options.
One of the options.
Is secure credit card.
Secure credit card.
Okay.
And you can get that at your credit union or your preferred bank. And you have to seek out what banks or credit unions have those to offer. For example, Discover is a great place.
What is the easiest ones? Discovery or
Discover,
Capital One, or what is it?
One, Bank of America. The Golden One Credit Union. And ask your specific bank or credit union if they have secured credit cards.
So you suggest to get one or two. And the easiest one are revolving credit cards or the store credit cards. What's best?
Well, the secured cards are going to be revolving credit, and for the specific amount that you let the bank hold. So what you basically do is, say for an example, you give the bank $300 as security, and they'll give you a $300 credit card for you to manage.
Okay.
Now, some banks keep that money and hold it for the longest time.
Yeah, that's for the banks like Bank of America. What about like Credit One or American Express? Without any credit, they don't give you anything.
Well, you got to have some type of history.
Okay. Otherwise, you may not.
You may not.
You won't qualify.
A great card for when you're out of high school and you're barely starting and you're continuing going your education in college. Discover likes to help students.
Okay, so Discover is like more for students that are
for students are just starting over. They have a secure card, and what's great about Discover is you can give them a $250 or $300 secured card.
Yeah.
They're going to watch you for 6 months.
Okay,
how you manage that card.
Okay,
and if you do well with that card for 6 months, they're going to return your money. They're going to make that card unsecured,
okay,
and they're going to raise your credit limit.
Oh, I see. And that's how your credit starts, right? Because then you're gonna start getting more credit cards.
Yes, because you're letting everyone know that for 6 months now I was Discover, and I
have a history now, right?
Yes.
So that's one of the options. I mean, apply for a secure credit card. Now the second option will be.
Second option is if you have mom or dad, brother, sister, great friend, to help add you to an authorized user credit card. And basically what you're doing is you're piggybacking off their great credit to help show history on your credit.
So let's say that your parents, they have, or any family member, they have a good credit card history, a good credit card for years. And let's say that their FICO score is 700. You don't have any credit at all. How is gonna affect you or help you by being added to that credit card?
So say, for example, you went to your parents and you asked them, would you be willing to add me to your credit card as an authorized user?
Yeah.
And say your father or mother has a credit card that's been open for 10 years.
Okay.
Okay. And they added you as an authorized user to that card. So that reporting history of that 10-year history card on the next 30-day cycle will report to your credit report.
So passes to who the one that has been added to the credit card.
Yes.
So everything of the history, everything passes to the new holder.
Well, it will reflect on your personal credit.
Okay.
To show an established line of credit that's been open for 10 years in good standing.
Wow.
So now when people look at your credit, this card's been open for 10 years.
So the same history in credit passes to the other people.
Yes.
Oh, sure.
And in most cases, if it's your parents, they can leave you on the card.
Yeah.
Okay. And in some instances, you can purchase that from someone that sells authorized user credit lines.
So if no one in your family has that type of credit card, you can
purchase them.
You can go to maybe you and you know who
an authorized user supplier.
Yeah.
That understands that how to apply the authorized user to your credit, to help you build your credit in a quick, faster manner.
Yeah, once you build credit, you have a history. Of course, you're gonna start getting other credit cards, other credits, and then that's when you're gonna start growing your credit.
It's a fast track way to boost your score.
Yeah.
In order for you to get quicker and faster.
Yeah. You don't have to wait 10 years to have that.
It puts you in a better light with a creditor to show that you have history.
Yeah.
And compared to somebody who doesn't have history.
So first option is to get a secure credit card. Second option is to be added to someone that has a credit card for years. What will be another option?
Well, there's other types of credit that not necessarily credit card. Your car is an installment loan, which will constitute as credit. But the history of making your car payment helps your credit score. Okay. Specific loans that you may have, unsecured loan, student loans. Those are lines of credit that also have history.
Yeah.
That give you a score.
Okay.
Car payments are usually 5 years.
Okay.
That's 5 years of history of showing that you're paying.
And you're gonna stay in your credit, right? For, I don't know, forever. So now that's for someone who doesn't have a credit and they want to get credit. But what about for people that have bad credit, that for some reason they start making their payments and they have collections? There are companies of free resources that they can check the credit. You mentioned Credit Karma and Experian and any other ones that are, well, I don't know, those are free, right?
Yeah, so there are free resources for us to monitor our credit. And basically, one of them is Credit Karma.
Credit Karma.
Credit Karma will give you everything on your credit for TransUnion and Equifax. Okay. They'll give you a credit score, but that credit score is not accurate. Okay, they use a credit source named Vantage Scoring. So most of our creditors, maybe 90% of them, use the FICO score. Okay. So the FICO score is 90% of creditors. So the credit score, basically, it's great for monitoring.
Yeah.
And their Credit Karma is actually was made up by the credit bureaus, and they're a solicitor for creditors.
Okay.
So they will let you know what are your chances of approval for specific credit cards once they see your credit is at a certain point.
Yeah.
They'll tell you if it's an excellent chance, good chance, or fair chance to get us a specific card.
Yeah.
And even if you're starting off with a low score, they will mention secured credit cards for you.
Which ones you can apply, or that you can be approved, right?
Yes.
So Credit Karma basically it's give you an idea how your credit is, all the credit cards that you have, and also if you have any bad credit, it's gonna show there, right?
It will alert you
Yeah.
for any changes on your credit.
Okay.
If you go spend $200 on your credit cards and your score decreases, it will let you know that your score decreased because you spent $200 on the balance.
Credit card, your debt increase, and
Yes.
or if you make a late payment, it's gonna show you, it's gonna tell you things like that.
If you
right?
apply for a Macy's card, it will let you know that you had a new inquiry on your credit.
Yeah. So by checking out these resources, you get an idea how your credit score, how your credit is, and where it stands. So now, let's say that you have bad credit. You had a bankruptcy. You had any issues financially, and now you're behind on all your payments. You have a repo. Now that's where you guys come in to help those people, because a lot of people, they can be like that for years, because it happens to people that come to me and 2 years ago the credit was bad, they had collections, and they come back a year or 2 years later and it's the same, because they don't know where to go, what to do. That's where you guys come in, and you know all the process, you know how credit cards or companies work, that you can either fix, erase, move, all the things that you do to help these people to, fix their credit.
When someone comes to us, the first thing we like to do is help them identify the things that are hurting their credit. Okay. They know that they've had some bumps in the road, and they fell behind, they couldn't pay for some things.
Yeah.
And so what we do is we'll dispute those items to be removed off their credit. Okay. There are legal ways to remove these items. Okay.
And that's what I like, that those are legal ways that you know.
Yes. So there's consumer law.
Okay. Consumer law.
There's also factual disputing.
Okay.
So what we do is we identify the inaccuracies that are reporting through the credit bureaus.
Okay.
And then we will attack those and show that between the three credit bureaus that they are reporting inaccurate information between them, because the Federal Consumer Reporting Act states that there's is supposed to be 100% accuracy in the Credit Reporting Act. Okay, so basically, if Experian says you're late,
okay,
and TransUnion and Equifax says you're on time for the month of May,
so that's an inaccuracy there.
Inaccuracy.
Yeah.
Okay. If one of them says that your credit limit is $400 and the other one says it's $700 and the other one says it's $300, that's an inaccuracy. If your account number is wrong, that's an inaccuracy.
Now, those are the disputes for, what do you use that for? Because I would say that's, because let's say that I have a collection, that's where you start working on see what it's correct there, or what is it?
We want to first identify to see if that's even your collection.
I think because there's people that have collections that are not theirs, right?
Well, see, there's a lot of inaccurate information on your credit that you're not aware of.
Yeah.
Okay. There might be someone with the same or similar name as you.
That's right.
And it's not yours. And if, for example, if you Google your name, you'll find out there's Demetrio Robles is maybe 400 or 500 of them in the state of California.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. So the credit bureaus do make mistakes, and they make many mistakes. Because they get sued all the time for their mistakes.
Okay.
Experian, TransUnion, Equifax right now are under fire for all their mistakes. And they have been sued for millions and millions of dollars.
Sure.
Equifax had a security breach. Over 230 million people's information was compromised. Experian was doing false dispute processing and saying that they were disputing your credit, but they were not. TransUnion has got sued for the same thing, and this is all recent. So this is ongoing right now. So right now is a great time to dispute your credit because of these reasons. We will identify these mistakes and these reasonings to get those repos off, to get those charge-offs, to get those collections off, get those inquiries off.
And you can do it legally, right?
Legally, and get it done in a small period of time of 30 days or less.
So that can be done. You can do that. You can remove repos out of your credit, charge-offs. What about bankruptcies?
Bankruptcies can be removed off your credit also.
Tax liens.
There is no law that states that any of these accounts that should be on your credit.
Because a lot of those things that are there on your credit, like for 7 or forever, right?
You got to remember, these creditors pay these credit bureaus to put that information on your credit. See, your information, you never gave them permissible purpose to sell your information. Your right to privacy is being violated by them selling your information. So in essence, the creditors are committing identity theft on us.
They're the ones that
but like I said,
they're breaking the law, right?
We use consumer laws to get these things off and removed. Okay, those two that I use, the permissible purpose and your privacy, those are violated all the time. Okay,
and that's what things that we don't know, and that's why we pay whatever they ask us to pay, but because we don't know.
Well, here's one for charge-offs. Okay, when a charge-off debt shows up on your credit, companies are supposed to send us a 1099-C. Okay?
1099-C.
Yes. That's income.
Okay.
That's stated income. But they don't send it to us. Okay?
Okay.
So you have to request a 1099-C. When you receive that 1099-C, you can use that for your tax purposes as stated income. Now, we take a copy of that and we send it to the credit bureaus. And we can say, you need to remove this charge off that you're showing as a debt because I have a copy of a 1099-C that shows as stated income. So how is stated income showing as a debt? Now, please remove this account off my credit.
So that 1099-C?
Yes.
So that's an income that you had to report to your income taxes?
The creditor said that to the state, we don't believe this client is going to pay us. So in return for their side, for their taxes, they write off the debt. Once it's charged off and written off, their insurance is paying them money.
They're getting the money, yeah.
Okay. And the credit is still bad on your side. And then they're still trying to collect on that. So in essence, they're double dipping on us.
They sell the loan to...
They didn't sell the loan. It still shows Macy's.
Oh, yeah.
I owe $1,000. Charge off.
Charge off, yeah.
When they said charge off, their insurance paid them.
Okay.
But they left the debt there, and they're still trying to collect that debt from you. They were supposed to send you a 1099.
Because they already got the money.
They already got the money, but they still try to get the money from you anyway by leaving it on your credit.
Sure. Yeah.
So they double dip. So if you're trying to buy a home, and the loan officer says, "Hey, you need to pay this debt before we give you $300,000, $400,000, $500,000." Well, you got to take care of this debt first.
Yeah.
So guess what? The creditor sits there waiting for you to pay them. And that's why they leave negative debt on your credit for 7 years. Because they're still trying to collect on something they already got paid for.
Yeah. The good thing is that can be fixed. That can be removed, right?
So we identify what the companies are doing wrong.
Okay.
And we use it against them. Okay. Now we're going to request a 1099-C. Or we're going to look for inaccuracies at the reporting. Some companies are very stubborn and don't want to remove certain things.
Okay.
So that's where we use the consumer law to get them removed.
Okay.
So,
Wow. That's the power of knowledge.
Yes. Also, besides Credit Karma, there is Experian app that you can also get for free.
Okay.
And that's because Credit Karma only shows you TransUnion and Equifax. So you may have to go get Experian and have two credit monitoring services on your phone for free. Okay. And they also will update you of all your accounts on your credit and give you updates every time something changes. Okay. And they will also guide you to apply for credit cards once you're in the proper standing for those.
Once you have a certain FICO score, right?
And it's great for all of us as consumers to be aware of credit in this day and age of technology, because you never know when somebody may compromise your information. Because I always discover different addresses, phone numbers, accounts that don't belong to a client.
Now, like Experian, you can have your credit lock. Is good to have it locked so that way
you can do a credit freeze.
Credit freeze, yeah. Okay.
So this way, no one can apply for anything until you unfreeze it.
Okay.
So say for an example, if I got all my accounts frozen and I want to go apply for a credit card with Capital One, then what I would go is on my apps and unfreeze them.
Okay.
Apply for the credit card. And as soon as I get done applying for the credit card, I would freeze them again.
Okay. So that way you're secure.
One form of protection.
Okay.
Protecting your credit is vital in this day and age. There's so much that can go wrong with your credit. A mixed file. Say you and your son are in the same house with the same names.
Yeah.
I've had my clients' sons or their dad's credit show up on their credit file. And affect them.
We have some issues also with clients that they have the dad and the son have the same names, and it's a lot of things that we need to work. Okay, so now what are the mostly mistakes that people do with the credit that you see that affect the most?
Well, once again, it comes back to knowing how credit works, the education aspect of it. So here's one that I see a lot. People go to the car to go buy a car, and they go to the car lot. Okay, and they don't have great credit. So what they do is they let the car lot shop for their loan for them.
And that's what mostly, I think all of them do that, right?
All of them do that if you don't know.
If you don't know.
Okay, so if you don't know, you go, say you have a 600 score and you need a car.
Yeah.
You go to the car lot. They're going to take advantage of you. Okay, and here's the reasons why. You have a low credit score. Okay. Secondly, you're going to need a big down payment. And you're going to have a high interest rate. And you're also going to have a high monthly payment. Okay. And they're going to shop around to 3 banks at first. And if those 3 banks don't approve you, they're going to shop for another 3 banks and another 3 banks and another 3 banks. So next thing you know, you have 15 to 20 inquiries in one day.
Oh, shit.
And your credit drops.
Yeah, of course.
So what I like to educate my clients on is getting a pre-approval first through their credit union or bank.
Okay.
And this is how this works. You call them up or go in to see them and ask for a pre-approval. Now, you also got to have in mind the amount of the car that you're buying. And I'm giving you an example. We bought our daughter's car. The car that she wanted was a new Camry. Okay, so we did our research. She shopped around. She took a picture. So we went to Lodi, California, to buy the Toyota for her. And they wanted $32,000 for the car. She took a picture of the same car, which was selling in San Francisco for $26,000. Okay. Prior to us going to the car lot, we called our credit union over the phone and asked them for a pre-approval. They checked our credit and says, you're approved. Then they asked us, do we want a 5-year, 6-year, or 7-year loan? And actually, how much do we want the loan for? We told them $30,000. They said, don't use 1 penny over $30,000. Okay, you have up to $30,000 to buy your car, but make sure your car is under $30,000. So they approved us and sent us this check in the mail. We got the check, went to the car lot, negotiated our deal, and told them we're paying the car in full. Okay, because we got the check. They did not run our credit one time.
So if you don't get a check or a approval from other banks, so they're gonna run your credit. So that's the only way that you don't let them, because you're paying cash basically.
Well, the bank is paying for it for us, and we're gonna make payments to the bank.
Of course.
But we came with a check in hand. Okay, so we kind of dictated the terms. Okay, we were in a better position to negotiate.
Of course.
Okay. Oh, you have all the money now? Yes. So the ball's in our court. Okay. So in essence, now let's not get me wrong here. A lot of us don't have that great credit score. We don't have an approval.
An approval from another bank.
And we might be in some situations where we need a car as an emergency because our car broke down. We need to get to work till we commute. So we had to go to the car lot. And say they shop for you and they get you a loan. And you got a big down payment and a high interest rate of 21%. In 6 months' time of making on-time payments, and your credit score will go up for making those payments, you will be able to refinance your vehicle at a better terms. And get a better interest rate and maybe a lower payment because your credit has grown some because of the on-time payments. And so basically a lot of people don't know these things. So it's a matter of education. So when my clients come in and I see all these inquiries when they were looking for a car or if they bought a car recently, I would ask them, what is your interest rate on your car? So after we fix this credit and get you a 700 score, you can go back to your bank
and get a
refinance. And they can save you thousands of dollars on your car over the life of the loan.
So that's one of the mistakes. What will be other mistakes that you have seen people done in
not understanding their credit cards and their due dates and statement dates. Paying late. There's no instructions when you get a credit card. And most people will use the credit card and not know that it's due in 30 days. Okay, and well, I didn't know. No one ever told me. No one showed me how to do this. I just I used it and I pay it whenever. So here's one thing that I teach a lot of the youngsters.
Yeah.
When you get a credit card and you're starting off, you can pay as you go.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to wait for.
You don't have to wait till the 30 days to pay the credit card. You can use it the same day. So say, for example, me and you, Dimitri, will go eat lunch.
Yeah.
And we use a credit card. Later on in the day when I get home, I can send that money to my credit card that same day and pay it. Okay? I don't have to wait till the 30 days to pay it.
Until you get the bill.
You have that time frame to pay it later. But if you have it now, why not pay it now?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you don't have to wait. So that will be the other mistakes that are people commonly that you see done. What other issues or things that you have experienced with people that are the mistakes that a lot of people do?
Applying for credit and having bad credit and still applying for credit. Okay. For example, somebody with bad credit went to go buy a car.
Okay.
The most I've ever seen is 250 increase for cars.
What do you mean 250 increase?
He had his credit ran 250 times.
Oh, sure.
Trying to buy a car.
Trying to find a loan.
Yes. His credit was so bad that he kept applying. The car lot kept applying and applying and applying.
Yeah.
And I says, you have 250 increase on there? His wife had 150 because she had bad credit too.
Oh, wow.
This individual made a mistake of getting cars in his name for family members. Family members totaled 3 cars in his name. And he made the mistake of having it in his name, and they left him high and dry and didn't pay for any of those cars. And I had to advise this client to never apply a cosign or apply for anything that it's not going to be, if it's not going to be for you.
Yeah, of course. Because you don't have control at all with with people.
He wanted to help his family.
Which is good, but again.
But those people weren't responsible because they left him high and dry.
All right, so now let's move to the 30-day fixer the program that you have, because we have some clients that I have referred to you, and of course there are some we're working on it, and there are some that you have helped them to fix their credit. But how that works?
So basically, when a client comes to me, or if you send me a credit file and I speak to the client, I have their information. And what we'll do is we'll identify all their negative accounts.
Okay.
Those are what's holding their credit score down. And then I'll also advise if they have any open revolving credit now to pay that debt down. Okay. Then also I will dispute collections, charge-offs, and inquiries in personal data.
Okay.
Say, for an instance, you lived at 5, 6, 7 addresses ago, and all those addresses are on your credit. Let's remove them. They're no longer benefiting you. Let's remove your old phone numbers. I've seen clients with 20, 30 phone numbers on their credit file. I've seen people with 40, 50 addresses on their profiles.
Sure.
And we had to clear all those.
Yeah, because it confuses, I think, right? I mean, the more numbers and addresses you have there.
Let's make you look more stable.
Yeah. That's right.
Okay. So let's clean that up.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get all those inquiries off that are not connected to open accounts. Let's remove those.
Yeah.
Let's remove the collections. Let's remove the charge-off.
So basically, you did that in 30 days. That's you did, like you said, you check their credit and see what it's not benefit. Yes. I mean, to them, and then you start working on all those issues. And you said that let's say that someone with a 550 credit score goes to you. So you, in 30 days, that client can increase the FICO score to 650, 700. How that works?
Okay, so basically that will dispute those negative accounts. And when those negative accounts are removed off your credit,
okay,
then if the client doesn't have credit, he can either apply for a secure credit card or he can get an authorized user credit card.
Okay,
with some history on it to help boost the score.
Which is the fastest way,
so
right?
Being at a 550, depending on what type of accounts that are holding him back and how many he has, maybe that gets him to 650. but he wants to get into 680 to 700 to buy a home. So maybe we'll add 1 or 2 authorized users to his profile to also get him over that 700 score threshold and get him qualified for a home loan.
Yeah. Let's say that they had a repo or a bankruptcy. How soon you can dispute, you can remove those things from
30 days.
In 30 days.
30 days.
So that's why it's a 30-day fixer, right?
Yeah, 30-day fixer. You just got to know what you're doing and how you're doing it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm aggressive on the dispute process because nobody wants to wait a whole year to get things off.
Yeah.
They want to get it done quickly because there might be a home that they like. There might be a car that they may like. And in some cases, there are emergency situations.
What do you think about the companies that they charge you like a monthly fee? Because I have clients that they come to me and they say, "Oh, I have a 1 year or a year and a half working with this company. I'm paying this monthly, and my credit still the same." What do you think about that?
It's the lack of information that those companies are giving the clients and taking advantage of them.
So that's how they're making money. I mean that's the way that they work or the business.
Well, what you don't know is what they'll use against you. Okay?
Yeah.
And say, for an example, I know you need this fixed. Okay? And I was once in the client's shoes. My credit was bad. I couldn't get approved for anything. And I wanted to fix it because I wanted to get a new car. I wanted to have a credit card to use at my leisure.
Yeah.
Okay? So come along a family member who added me to their credit card as an authorized user. That helped boost my score.
Yeah.
We removed the few collections I had on my credit for things I didn't pay in the past.
Yeah.
And we got those removed. Next thing I know, I'm in the 700s.
Yeah.
And I was able to go buy me a nice new truck.
Yeah.
And
just make sure that you're gonna make the payments.
Removing the debt off your credit will make you happier.
Of course.
It will take a burden off your shoulders.
Yeah.
Okay, because if we can eliminate the debt and know where to go to get it eliminated, it goes a long way in changing somebody's life and the direction that they're headed.
Yeah, because now you're showing a different person because now you have a good history. You're responsible.
Well, we wanna get rid of our past.
Yeah.
Okay, and we want to move forward without us dragging us down.
Yeah.
Okay, and moving forward with that, knowing that you eliminate this debt and you're starting anew again.
Yeah.
Brings a lot of good fortune to you.
Of course. Yeah.
You know, hey, I can get a home.
Yeah.
You know, I had a client that her family lived in apartments.
Okay.
For decades. She was the first one in her family to get a home.
Wow.
She had tears of joy in our office. And that was an overwhelming, great feeling for the client. Yeah. And also for us for helping her.
Of course.
Yeah. And we make a lot of great friends and with our clients. And you hear their stories, their struggles.
Yeah.
And, you know, I had a client who went through a divorce, had her mother and father living with her, and her son had cancer. Wow. She came to our office. We were repairing her credit. And before she left the office, I told her, get some rest. Okay? We're going to make this right for you. And you're going to be able to get a home for your family.
Wow.
You know, things look troubling now.
Yeah.
But in 30 days, you're going to have a better outlook.
Yeah, because you know that it's possible, right?
Yes.
You know how to do it. So once you, of course, you can do that to anyone based, of course, maybe each situation is different for everyone. But of course, the more, bad things or they have in the credit report, it's going to take a little bit longer? Or do you think that in 30 days, it's possible for everyone?
Depending on our work volume at the time.
Yeah.
Okay. We try to get out as soon as possible. Once the client says, yes, let's move forward.
Okay.
They give us all the things that we need. And for example, I'll need a picture of their ID and social security card, and of course, their payment.
Yeah.
And then once we get started, we're going to monitor their credit.
Okay.
To see that these items are coming off, and the the credit bureaus are going to mail them the correspondence as showing them that those items were removed.
Yeah.
Okay. They're also going to have their credit monitoring, Credit Karma and Experian show them that their score is rising.
Yeah.
And they'll see it for themselves.
That is going on.
Yes. And then once that comes off, and if there's any trouble with an account that's being difficult, we continue to fight it. Get it removed. Okay. There's always a way to get something removed. Okay.
There is way. Once you know the consumer law, right?
the consumer laws, and basically knowing how these companies work.
That's right. Yeah.
So we have an inside track of knowing how to deal with them.
How to appeal this company, so right?
Yes, we know how to appeal if they say, that credit is verified. Okay, how did you verify it? What was your method of verification?
Show it to me.
Where's the contract? Where's my signature?
Yeah.
Do you have anything? Oh, matter of fact, the debt was sold to you. You're not even the original creditor. Oh, you don't have a license to collect in the state of California.
Wow.
We need you to remove that immediately.
So how was those things work, right? Once you know that. So now that you fix the credit to someone, you remove everything that it's affecting their credit, how they can keep up the credit? What do you suggest? What do you recommend?
I always tell my clients, try not to live outside your means.
Okay.
When you have credit cards, it's easy for any of us to keep using it, and that balance gets to a point where when that payment is due, it's higher than expected. And we have a hard time fitting that into our budget, and that's where the trouble comes. Okay, I don't have enough to pay the $300 for this credit card, and that's the minimum payment because the balance is so high. Okay, sometimes that can go right past us. And this is where you need to change your mindset, and you need to be aware of what your spendings are. And I like to tell my clients, budget, or write down all your debt. Write down what's coming in and what's going out, and try to eliminate the debt. And stay on top of it. With the free credit monitoring, look at it every day, every other day. Be aware of where your credit's at. Because your credit can do more for you in a good standing than it can do in a bad standing. Because having bad credit is more expensive than having good credit. And what I mean by that, you can't get approved for anything.
And if they approve you, they're going to give you a higher rate. So you're paying more in interest than someone that has a good credit.
Yes. So take for an example, me and you go by, want the same car. It's a Camry for $20,000. You have good credit, I have bad credit. You go buy the car, and they look at your credit and say, "Oh, Demetrio, you have a 750 score." Guess what? No money down. Your payment's going to be $250
Zero rate, zero interest rate.
Your interest rate is going to be 3%. Okay, Charles, you. Oh, man. You had a 600 score or 550 score. Guess what? You have to put $5,000 down. Your interest rate is going to be 21%. And your payment monthly is going to be $600 a month.
Sure.
Oh. And guess over the life of the loan, I'm paying $6,000 more
than
what you
more.
would be paying.
And that's the cost of having bad credit.
Yes.
And it's just one thing, but any other things, even a good job, even everything.
I want to be a correctional officer. And they look at my bad credit. They'll deny me the employment. Working for the IRS, I had clients that worked at the IRS office, and the IRS required them to have $1,000 or less of debt, or they were going to be let go. So basically, we want you to be in a better situation and it's a hole for your life.
Yeah.
You know, it lets your family know that you have things in order. And what you learn from credit and managing it, you teach it to your family.
Yeah.
I've had clients come in and teach their family, and their children who are becoming adults and graduating from school have great credit.
Yeah.
I've taught them how to show their children how to have great credit. And as a family as a whole, they maintain that status.
Yeah, like because that's what you mentioned, that it's easier, it's cheaper to have a good credit than having a bad credit, because you pay more in everything basically.
Yes, and it's just the knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the good thing is that there are ways, like you said, there are solutions. There's in your case, you're the one that are helping people to have a better credit or increase their credit. That way they have a better lives. I mean, they can get better things, and that's a good thing. But you need to learn, and like you say, pass it to or help other people that they need help.
If anything, if you don't do anything at all, get the Credit Karma, get the Experian app. It's for free.
It's free.
Okay, you can look at your credit even if it's bad.
Yeah.
Okay?
And just do something.
And then when you're ready, reach out.
Yeah.
Reach out and let's get a plan in place to fix this credit. I have clients who call me and inquire, and then call me a year later when they're ready.
Yeah, see, they've been working, because if you don't do anything, it's gonna be the same.
But it was still on their mind, and they remembered us.
Yeah.
And when they called, oh, you're ready now.
Yeah.
Let's look at your credit now compared from when it was a year ago.
Yeah.
And let's start and get you back on track. And once they were back on track, they were able to accomplish getting the home, a car, credit cards, and also helping the wife, helping the husband, helping the kids, helping other family members.
Because once you learn, of course you're gonna keep your credit thing standing, because you know how credit works.
Oh, it's great, because once you fix your credit and you feel good about it, you start to let your friends and coworkers know about it, and you refer them back to us and say, hey, I went there and got my credit fixed.
Yeah, you can be a YouTuber and make good content about credit.
Yeah, they it's vital to have good credit. And guess what? With good credit, you're able to get out of situations that other people can't get out of.
That's right.
Because of the bad credit.
And especially in this country, I mean, where everything is credit. All the businesses, everything.
I was able to add my kids to my credit cards as an authorized user.
Okay.
When my credit card showed up on my kids' credit, it jumped their score to 780.
Sure.
Okay. My kids had nothing on their credit. Fresh out of high school.
Yeah.
So I already knew what to do. I had them as an authorized user on a $5,000 card with a zero balance. That card was open for 4 years.
Yeah.
It jumped to 780. So the first thing I did was apply for a credit card at a credit union for my kids, and they got approved for their first credit card at $3,000.
Right away.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a good thing, and that's the power of knowledge. That's why it's very important to know how credit works. And like you said, just reach out, just look for someone that knows or has all the access to all these new laws. And
we have a free consultation. There's no charge. Okay, to inquire, to find out where you're at, what your status is.
That's a good thing.
Okay, and then once we relay that to you and give you where your current status is, you have better awareness on what your needs are.
At least to know where you stand, right?
Yes.
And then go from there. All right. Any myths about the credit? Anything that people think that is going to help or damage about the credit
Yes, the 30% rule. On credit cards is a myth.
It's
Okay. I dispelled that one time. Everyone says keep 30% of debt on your credit card.
Okay.
That is a myth. Okay. Because you're losing interest. You're paying interest on 30% of debt on your credit cards every month. If you have the capabilities, pay your debt in full.
And just
Okay. Now, if you're going to carry a balance on your credit card, it's all a good rule of thumb to keep it between 1 to 10% of the credit limit.
Okay.
Okay. So now it shows a minimal of 10% of debt on a $100 card. That's $10. $1,000 card. It's $100.
And that way keeps your FICO score, I think, the highest, right? By having the lowest.
It keeps your credit active.
Yeah.
Okay. And it keeps your score great to show that, oh, they don't have a lot of debt. He has a minimum debt.
Minimum debt, yeah.
Okay. And if you have, pay it off. One time I paid it all off.
Is that right?
Yes. My score went up to 819.
The highest.
Yeah. So I tried to get to 850. I have a couple of family members who have 850.
Is that right?
Yeah. And I was like, wow, you guys got great credit.
How did you get to that? I mean, you had to either have the lowest.
They had great history.
Okay.
They had a great payment history. They paid their debt off on time. And they had over a period of time, they let their credit grow 15, 20-year cards.
Okay.
So they never had any hiccups in that timeline.
Yeah. Well, that's a perfect credit, I would say, right?
Yes. And I encourage everybody as a challenge to themselves to really get into knowing their credit and educating themselves.
Yeah.
And if you don't want a fast track education, call me.
Yeah, call us, and of course we're here to help anyone.
Yes,
right.
Get a hold of Demetrio. He has my contact number, my information, and we're here to help.
We're gonna help.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else that you want to add, Charles? Anything that
don't be scared.
Okay.
Okay. Accept where you are and the challenges, and we can overcome them. And we can get it changed in a short period of time. Don't stay stuck.
Yeah. And of course, everything can be disputed. Everything can be challenged. Everything can be fixed, right?
Anything and everything can be removed from your credit.
Great. That's good to know. Okay. Charles, thank you. Thanks for coming. Thanks for all the good information, advice that you give us. Thank you. Of course, we're going to be working with you. Any clients that comes to me for help, of course, I'm going to be reaching to you. And I hope that we can keep helping people to make their lives better.
Yes, you have all my contact information. Clients can reach out to you. We can work with them and help them get into those homes, those cars, or just get their credit fixed if they don't do nothing at all.
Yeah.
Just to have there as a safety measure, because things come up all the time. Okay, and you're gonna need that.
Yeah, of course.
Credit is everything.
Credit is everything. Okay, thank you, Charles.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time and all the good information.
Last thing is just make sure to let the people know that you're local here in Central Valley, so that's very important.
So where you service most of the time, Charles? You're here in where?
I am in Stockton, California.
Okay.
And I work with anybody and everybody in the state of California. I work locally mainly with Lodi, Modesto, Ceres, Tracy, Manteca, Lathrop, the Bay Area, Los Angeles, Fresno. Arizona, Nevada. Those are the majority of my clients. Now, I do have some in Arkansas, Miami.
All the states?
Yeah, all the states, anywhere.
Okay.
All we need is your information. And once we have your information, we can look up anything. And I also require that you have the Credit Karma and Experian app.
Okay, good. All right, thank you, Charles, again. Thanks for your time, okay?
Thank you for having me today.
All right. See, that was easy, right?
Yeah, that was fun. That was great.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
That's what I like. That's what I like about podcasts, because it's like having a conversation, basically.